Oh. 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 Sadashiv Samarambham
Tadaशिव समारंभाम
Shankaracharya Madhyamam
शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम
Asmadacharya Paryantam
अस्मदाचार्य पर्यंताम
Vande Guru Paramparam
वंदे गुरु परंपराम
Vasudeva Sutam Devam
वसुदेव सुतम देवम
Kansa Chanuramardanam
कंस चाणूरमर्दनम
Devaki Paramanandam
देवकी परमानंदम
Krishnam Vande Jagadguru.
कृष्णम वंदे जगद्गुरुम.
I will say the 12th Shlok of 12th chapter, which is the essence of teaching. Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasat
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम अभ्यासात्
ज्ञानाध्यानम विशिष्यते
ज्ञानाध्यानम विशिष्यते
ध्यानात् कर्म फल त्यागः
ध्यानात् कर्म फल त्यागः
त्यागा शांति अनंतरम.
त्यागः शान्तिरनन्तरम्.
So that's the journey, that's the path. Like it starts from abhyas and keep doing till you reach the shanti. And Bhagavan is it's a loop. Keep coming back till you reach that, and the goal is to transcend that shanti also. Shanti is also not to be kept. It's like that. कुछ भी नहीं पकड़ना है, उसको वो भी transcend कर जाना है. And that is whatever name we give it, Anand or Nirvana, Moksha. There are Jivan Mukti, but that's the path. There is absolutely no disagreement by anyone on that path, right? So now the Arjun's Prarthana, which is the 7th Shlok of 2nd chapter, which is our Prarthana too. Karpanya dosho upahat svabhavah
कार्पण्य दोषो उपहत स्वभावः
prachami tvam dharma sammूढ़ चेताः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेता.
यत् श्रेयस्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
यच्छ्रेयस्या निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे.
शिष्यस्ते अहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्.
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्.
So Arjuna is basically surrendering that I'm not able to figure out the Shreyas in this situation. So I surrender to you. Shishyasteham. I become your disciple. And Shadhi Mam Tvam Prapannam. My buddhi could take me to the right direction towards Shreyas. And that's why he says Karpanya dosho. My consciousness, my ability to, or reasoning has shrunk. I'm not able to even figure out. Upahat Sabhav. That's why it is impaired. My nature, my identity is impaired. Upahat means impaired. And Sabhav means identity or Antakaran, we call it, many names, or consciousness, we can say. And that is kind of impaired. And so I helpless. I'm Karpanya dosh means helpless. So please guide me. And the answer to that prayer is Bhagavad Gita. Kya baat hai, right? Whenever I see this many times during that, I say, wow, what a prarthana Arjun made that Bhagavan ko bolna pada. Like that's the power in the prarthana. अभी हम लोगों के साथ भी अभी बच्चों की क्लास होती है विद्या मंदिर की. स्टिल पंकज भाई मैं तो पढ़ाता ही हूँ, तो आई ऑलवेज एंड टेल देम दैट डोंट बिकम पैरट. इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड आस्क, अदरवाइज याद कर करके बड़े हो जाओगे, फिर इट्स लाइक अ फ्रोजन, एंड इट्स द फ्रोजन, देन वंस इट इज फ्रोजन नथिंग वर्क्स. So we'll start with that story. मुझे याद आ रही है. So there was a guru wanted to teach this lesson to the student. So he said, he two sets of students. He said, okay, here are the chane, like the seed, like the chickpeas. He said, okay, here's the one set. You take this chane and then isko we have to like put in the yard and they'll grow, right? So one group, he said that you can bring this chane, go home, roast them and bring. And the other one, you just don't do that as it is. And both the group were given those chickpeas or chana to put in the soil. So the one which were not roasted, they became plant. And then what one became roasted, they didn't germinate, because once it is roasted, once it has no life, it cannot become a tree. So ऐसे हमारी consciousness भी, if it's not about कितना आता है या क्या जानते हैं, it is about how that humility, that shraddha, that bhakti bhav. Gyan is also bhakti. Gyan is not knowing things. Like there is a lot of confusion in people that Gyan is not knowing. Gyan is bhakti actually. And that is there, then Bhagwan will guide us. But हमारी भगवान कहते हैं अगर तुम्हारे if you know or you want to find out, you find out. I'll guide even then. But that is what Arjun did, the right thing. And that is what surrender. So that's what actually the pratana is. And that is our pratana too. Because that's the reason we do satsang. That's the reason we do swadhyaya. There's only one reason. That's the reason mandirs are there. We need to have that bhav that, yes, I'm just here. Take me. And then the guidance comes. So that's what the pratana. So we are on 16th chapter, which is Dev Asur Sampaddi Vibhagyo. Sampada here is, we can say, the tendencies. Actually, the real translation is wealth. It is wealth. And if I have those Devi qualities, it's a wealth. What else you need? And same, Asuri is not wealth, but it is tendencies. So, but the term they use, common term they use for both. But actually, Asuri is not wealth. Who wants that wealth? Oh, some people want that wealth. I mean, Ravana, Kans, and other many people in this world, they want that wealth also. So we'll see next time, Bhagwan. So last time we saw that Bhagwan says there are two types of people. One is with Asuri Sampada, and then another is the Devi Sampada, I mean spiritual values and those demonic tendencies or materialistic value, we can say. आज के जमाने, see, when Bhagwan said this shlok, it was, just imagine, it was a Dwapar. And now, actually, this thought process is before Dwapar. भगवान ने पहले बोला कि ये तो और पहले से चला रहा, मैं तुझे बता रहा हूं अर्जुन. तो ऐसा कहते हैं कि सतयुग में everybody was Satyug. That's what Satyug. Everybody was truthful, so there was no issue. Treta, when Bhagwan Ram came, then थोड़ा सा demonic बढ़ता चला गया, सत्य कम होता गया. द्वापर में और कम हो गया. अभी तो कलयुग में हम. So what this teaching Bhagwan has told this Asuri Sampada of that time. अब just imagine आजकल तो I mean everywhere it is Asuri. It's like that. So it is, the teaching is more required now. And more contemplation required, more understanding is required. So there are Devi and Asur. Bhagwan said, though, too. The problem with Asur people is they don't have the discernment, the vivek nahi. That's it. The only difference between Devi and Asur is vivek. So then the definition of Asur is Asushu Praneshu Ramante iti Asur. Asushu means indriya, sense organs. Praneshu means life. And just very simple definition. The one who always spent time, or who is always worried about the sense organs and the pran, life, जीना कैसे है, they are asur. अब by that definition 95% हम लोग उसमें आ ही जाते हैं. That's what we do. कि ये sense organ को कैसे use करना है और प्राणेशु में कैसे जिंदा रहना है. And that's what Bhagwan said. But that definition is coming from Satyug time. उस समय बिल्कुल, अब तो कितने हो गए हैं, like masses fall into that category. And Dev means to shine, to enlighten. So Divyati Prakashati iti Dev. The one who shines or who gives the light, that is Dev. And the one who possesses this quality, that is Devik Sampada. तो अभी तो कमी है उसकी. इसके लिए we need more satsang and more swadhyaya. And of course, I mean, it's not about Hindu dharma. Everybody feels these days things are very different. But anyway, we'll continue. So we finished up to 6th shlok, and Bhagwan talked about Devi Sampada. And we saw the first श्लोक में इसे अभयम सत्व संशुद्धि ज्ञान योग व्यवस्थिति. So if we summarize all those Devi Sampada, 16 are there. We can combine, club them into two. One is Abhayam, fearlessness. Dusra, Sattva Sanshuddhi. Sattva Sanshuddhi means the consciousness should be clean. Antahkaran, we can call it. And Abhayam means the result of that. Abhayam means the emotion which is the purest form of emotion, like we can say. Abhayam means fearlessness. There is no fear. When there is no fear, there is a Shanti. And there is an Anand. Fear is nothing but disturbance of the mind. Disturbance in the mind is fear. Fear is an emotion which is disturbing. And if there is no fear, then you have joy. It's the absence of any fear. There's joy. That's Bhagavan says that is the first quality. Actually, that's the only quality. If you combine all, to ek hi bachti abhayam. And the reason we have abhayam is, as we say, like all feeling of insecurity. And feeling of insecurity come because I feel I am missing something. And हमारी पूरी teaching ये कि you are पूर्ण, you are born divine. पूर्ण मदह पूर्ण मिदम means भगवान के लिए नहीं बोला, उसमें हमारे हम भी उसी में शामिल. So you are पूर्ण, but you feel that I'm incomplete. And then there is a fear that, oh, I'm missing something. वो आजकल तो हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, that FOMO, right? FOMO, yeah. Yeah. So fear of missing something, right? आगे कुछ है, right? Fear of missing the party, ऐसा कुछ something is there, right? FOMO.
Fear of missing out.
हाँ, fear of missing out. See, अरे हम किसी के घर में पार्टी हो रही है तो उसमें घर में बैठ के हमें FOMO हो रहा है कि अरे मैं मिस कर रहा हूँ. That level of insecurity we have, and that's why Bhagavan says पहली quality is abhyam. Abhyam means पूर्ण. If I am complete, there is nothing I'm lacking, then I'm secure. There's no fear. Like so, and Sattva Shuddhi. Then how do we reach it? Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. Next part of the shlok. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti means sadhana. Shravanam Mananam Diddityasam. The only way is that you are committed to the Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga means again understanding. घूम फिर के वही है. चाहे वो आप भजन से शुरू करो या भगवद गीता पढ़ो, डजेंट मैटर. आपको समझ में आना चाहिए कि मैं पूर्ण हूँ, and that this is all governed by someone who's beyond us. I'm not doing anything. That is the only understanding. So ज्ञान, but that's it. फर्स्ट श्लोक में सब हो गया पूरा. फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने 16 बताई, but they are same. So last time we stop it, so we'll just repeat 7 and then move forward with Asuri Sampatti. From 8th onward, Bhagwan is going to tell the Asuri. So we'll just recap quickly 7th and move to. So up to 6th is all Devi Sampada. 5th actually. So 7th shlok. Pravrittim cha nivrattim cha.
Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha.
Janana vidurasuraha.
Janana vidurasuraha.
Na shaucham na pichacharo.
Na shaucham na pichacharo.
Na satyam teshu vidyate.
Na satyam teshu vidyate. Hey Arjun, आसुरी स्वभाव वाले मनुष्य कर्तव्य कार्य में प्रवृत्त होने को और अकर्तव्य कार्य से निवृत्त होने को भी नहीं जानते हैं. इसलिए उनमें न तो बाहर भीतर की शुद्धि है, न श्रेष्ठ आचरण है और न सत्य भाषण ही है.
The demoniac people do not know action from inaction. Also, neither purity nor good conduct nor truth is found in them.
So it is this. Now he is going to describe those qualities. आगे आएंगी 20-25. But he is giving, जैसे कहते हैं ना, overview, right? That this is the overview of Asuri people. अभी इसमें हम इसको पढ़ते हैं ना जब, तो अभी आगे तो हमें लगता है हमारे बारे में. But good part is that Bhagwan is a good teacher. So it's not देवी बता के खत्म कर देते कि अर्जुन ये देवी संपदा है, साधन करो, देवी हो जाओ, काम खत्म. But do and don'ts. The good teacher or good instructor will tell what are. There was a school playground was there, and in the playground there are always, we see all the time in school में, like there are do and don'ts are written. So it was a new playground. So whatever instructor was there, he said write down do and don'ts for kids. So the kids will read that, right? Do and don't. So दो बच्चे थे, like they came. So one kid was little kind of a timid kid. So he read first don'ts. और don'ts में लिखा हुआ था don't fight with others, share the toys with other kids. तो भी play area होगा. Don't spoil the play area. Don't use the harsh words. Clean it, keep it clean. Don't break the whatever play instruments are there. So he read. He said there are so many don'ts. I mean, this is very tough. I mean, how I'll play? So he started getting nervous. So the other guy who was a little smarter, he read do's also. The do's में था make good friends, be polite, be friendly with others, share the instruments or whatever play things are there with others, keep the play clean. He said that's good. And then he read don'ts also. But his focus was on do's first and don'ts. So he could play and he made some friends and he was enjoying. The other guy who read don'ts, he was become so nervous, he stopped even enjoying, he didn't play. Then he said, I cannot play because looks like I'm very nervous. Then teacher explained to him that no, you have to read both. Not only do's will help. Don'ts you read, but there are do's also. And when you combine do and don'ts, that becomes wisdom. That becomes awareness. That's the reason Bhagwan has pure don'ts batayenge abhi like 30, because we should need to know that. But if we read all those and become, oh, there are ye to sab, I mean, that's not the goal. He said there are do's also. So read don'ts and then do's and then combine them and figure out. That is Vivek. इसमें से क्या do and don'ts, क्या नहीं करना और क्या करना है. That is Vivek. That's the reason he is giving. I'm sure that's the reason. Bhagwan to hai nahi, but I feel like that's the reason, right? He's giving that do and don'ts both. So now, like for example, 7th mein, the Asuri Swabhav Manush, what he's saying, they don't know what pravatti means, engaging, nivratti means disengaging in simple terms. So this person doesn't know when to disengage. That's what happens, right? We all see a lot of our friends who get into drinking. And I mean, we see that there is a limit, right? The moment you stop, you are not able to disengage yourself. You're gone. You get into the Asuri. It's that simple. ये तो बहुत पुरानी बात असुरी की बोली. ये तो अभी पढ़े लिखे लोग, we go to office parties and everything. We see that, right? There are some people who cannot disengage themselves and then get indulged and all kind of problems happen. We see the shooting in America yesterday, that the guy came in that Rhode Island hockey game was going on and shot his wife and kid. All these kind of things happening because people just not able to disengage themselves. So that's what Bhagwan is saying. The people know, and for example, Satya Bhashan. Satya, in the sense, he is saying that they don't have the values. And though that's why Acharan, Shreshta Acharan. So all these things, because they are not able to decide what is right, what is wrong, they are not able to perform the right Acharan. And it's a very simple statement. And Bhagwan says those people are Asuri because there is no Vivek. Vivek is absent, basically, if you say that. So आचार हम लोग हमारे आयुर्वेद जो है उसमें 3 चीजें बताते हैं. आयुर्वेद टीचर डॉक्टर के पास जाएंगे. There are 3 things needed in Ayurveda to be healthy: Nidra, Ahar and Acharan. Very simple. Ayurved की 3, ऐसा कहते हैं, tripods of Ayurved के 3 स्तंभ. That is the beginning of Ayurveda. Nidra, Ahar and Acharan. अगर आपकी निद्रा ठीक है, if you can sleep well, if your ahar is good and your acharan is good, you are healthy. Your Ayurveda, that's it. बाकी उनकी पूरे treatment around these things. आचरण पे भी ध्यान देते हैं. Ayurveda is not just about like giving the medicine. They'll focus on the acharan. And so that's what Bhagwan is saying. Acharan भी इनका श्रेष्ठ नहीं होता. So important is that acharan भी ठीक होना चाहिए, but Vivek is the key. So with that, now we'll go to the real Bhagwan is going to describe. One second, so in the 5th Shlok, Bhagwan has said that the Asuri Sampada binds and Devi Sampada give the moksha. 5th Shlok में भगवान ने बताया कि आसुरी संपदा से क्या होता है? It binds. Asuri means anything we are indulgent in, it binds. And then Devi Sampada, so you get the mukti. So there is a shlok very famous. We see many Indian institutions even today have that written Sa Vidya Ya Vimukte. इवन हमारे विद्या मंदिर के इसमें भी अभी ऐड किया हमने, सरस्वती जी के नीचे लिखा हुआ है, वेरी वेरी मेनी स्कूल, सा विद्या या विमुक्त है, वेरी फेमस कोटेशन. द विद्या इज वन विच लिबरेट्स. सो देवी संपदा इज विद्या, so सा विद्या या विमुक्त है. एंड देन तत्कर्म यद बंधाय. कर्म वो है, कर्म इन द सेंस नाउ भगवान इज नॉट सेइंग कर्म इज जिसमें यू हैव अटैच्ड टू द कर्म फल, दैट इज कर्म. कर्म फल तत्कर्म सा बंधा है, जिस कर्म में अटैचमेंट है वो बांधता है. सो आसुरी पीपुल आर ऑलवेज फोकसिंग ऑन द रिजल्ट. कर्म मीन्स रिजल्ट पे फोकस कर रहे हैं कर्म. सो कर्म इसलिए दे आर बाउंड. एंड जैसे हम लोग सब, दैट्स व्हाट द होल भगवद गीता 3rd चैप्टर इज, कर्म बांधते हैं, कर्म नहीं बांधते, कर्म फल. सो कर्म फल पे अगर फोकस होता है तो माई टेंडेंसी बिकम आसुरी, और आसुरी में फिर बन जाते हैं. एंड दैट्स व्हाट 5th चैप्टर 5th श्लोक भगवान ने क्लियर कर दिया था. अब नाउ ही इज गोइंग टू डिस्क्राइब. सो इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट दैट वी सो फॉर एग्जांपल सत्य भाषण, भगवान ने सेड वन ऑफ द क्वालिटी आसुरी पर्सन कैन नॉट डू सत्य. एंड वी ऑल नो दैट, वी कैन प्रैक्टिकली टेस्ट इट. Those times where my consciousness is not with asuri, for example, tamogun is more, going back to the 14th chapter. If rajogun and tamogun are more, then I have asuri tendencies. So it is difficult to hold on to truth. We all know that. It's everybody can practically, भगवान जो बोल रहे हैं खुद ही जज कर सकते हैं कि that moment if I my tamogun and rajogun more because I am attached to, I cannot hold on to truth. फिर कहीं ना कहीं झूठ में बोल दूंगा, ऐसा ऐसे बोलते हैं, क्योंकि आई एम फोकसिंग ऑन आसुरी मीन्स तमोगुण एंड रजोगुण मिक्स, दैट इज आसुरी. सो भगवान से ये कर ही नहीं पाता आसुरी स्वभाव वाला. नाउ हियर इज अ मैसेज, राइट? वो कोई दूसरा नहीं है. वी कैन ऑलवेज गिव एग्जांपल ऑफ रावण, वेरी इजी टू गिव. इसके जब डिस्क्रिप्शन होते हैं, इफ यू रीड कमेंट्रीज, पीपल गिव एग्जांपल ऑफ रावण. इट इज वेरी, forget about रावण, let's see अभी क्या हो रहा है. रावण तो बहुत दूर पे चला गया है, अभी भी यही हो रहा है. सो दैट्स व्हाट भगवान सिंह सत्य भाषण नहीं कर पाता है. सो गांधी जी का एक स्टेटमेंट था, बड़ा प्यारा, बड़ा पावरफुल भी था, कि इफ यू बेंड योर प्रिंसिपल्स फॉर योर कन्वीनियंस यू कैन नेवर फॉलो ट्रूथ. आई मीन आई एम पैराफ्रेजिंग इट, उन्होंने डिफरेंट तरीके से कहा था, बट व्हाट ही मेंट इज कि इफ यू कैन बेंड for your convenience, you can never follow truth. Convenience and truth cannot go together. Because if convenience के लिए अभी छोड़ा आज बोल देते हैं, झूठ देखेंगे क्या पड़ता है, like that. So then this is convenient, right? So I still remember my father was very, very truthful person. I mean, he is no more, but a lot of people even now say those he was professor. We have not seen a truthful person like Dr. Mehta. So I still remember, मैंने कई बार शेयर भी किया हो, but I enjoy that incident of my life. I was maybe 8 or 10 years old. Still remember that. So we were traveling from Ujjain to Bhopal, and he was a very truthful person. So उस समय तो लोग क्या करते थे कि I mean, if there is a up to 10 years, the age ticket is half, and so they'll get, oh, he's 10-year-old, 12-year-old को भी half ticket ले लिया. Oh, he never used to do that. He'll say whatever ticket, and we'll buy the ticket for kids also. So he bought the ticket, my brother and my both were there, and we took the train, and the train came to Bhopal, and it was so crowded. उस समय तो like it was not that convenient. So somewhere he lost the ticket in the crowd. कहीं गिर गया उनके हाथ से. So when we came out, there was a ticket collector at the exit door. He सबके ticket देख रहा था. So my father, when our turn came, he said, we had the ticket but we lost it. So उसने बोला आप साइड में खड़े हो जाइए, जैसा होता ना इंडिया में. But there was a lot of crowd. And then my father again says कि भाई वो टिकट हमारा गिर गया, हमने लिया था. तो he said कि देखिए ऐसा है, मैं आप जैसे लोगों को जानता हूँ, लोग टिकट लेते नहीं और ये बहाना बना देते हैं ताकि आप निकल जाएं. And I still remember my father's face. I was 10-year-old. मतलब he was anyway, he was a professor. He looked at him, he said कि मैं एक आचार्य हूँ, मैं झूठ नहीं बोल सकता. And this guy looked at him, and I still remember, he said, sorry sir, आप जाइए. He couldn't even hold on to himself कि the way my father said कि मैं एक आचार्य हूँ, मैं एक टीचर हूं, मैं झूठ नहीं बोल सकता। इसे सर आप जाइए। दैट इज द पावर ऑफ ट्रूथ। सो दैट्स व्हाट भगवान इज सेइंग कि आसुरी वृत्ति का व्यक्ति सत्य ताकत से नहीं बोल सकता, एंड दैट बिकॉज कन्वीनियंस ढूंढता है। सो एनीवे, सो दैट्स व्हाट the foundation of that Bhagwan is building, that Asuri. So we'll go to the next where Bhagwan is going to describe his or her. I mean, it's not his. Asuri किसी की वृत्ति हो सकती है. So 8th श्लोक, असत्यम अप्रतिष्ठम ते
असत्यम प्रतिष्ठम ते
जगदाहुनीश्वरम
जगदाहुरनीश्वरम
अपरस्परम संभूतम
अपरस्पर संभूतम
किमन्त्य काम है तुकम।
किमन्त्य काम है तुकम। तथा वे आसुरी प्रकृति वाले मनुष्य कहते हैं कि जगत आश्रय रहित और सर्वथा झूठा एवं बिना ईश्वर के अपने आप स्त्री पुरुष के संयोग से उत्पन्न हुआ है, इसलिए केवल भोगों को भोगने के लिए ही है, इसके सिवाय और क्या है।
They say the world is without reality, without foundation, without Bhagwan, born of mutual union caused by lust. What else?
Yeah. So this is like, in today's world, there are a lot of agnostic or atheist people, right? This Bhagwan is saying when it was like द्वापर की बात को, उसके पहले का है, तो that time also there were people who will believe. रावण तो फिर भी पूजा करता था शिव जी की. So there were people that time used to, but Hiranyakashipu, like he says, there is no work. Hiranyakashipu story we know about Prahlad, and that's what, in fact, the Sa Vidya Vimukta has come from Prahlad. Prahlad said that Hiranyakashipu sent Prahlad because he was so generous when the child doing Vishnu Puja. उन्होंने बोला कि ये राजा बन ही नहीं सकता है, इसको तो ट्रेनिंग दूसरी होनी चाहिए. So they called Shukracharya. Shukracharya was a teacher of demons. उनको बुलाया कि इसको कुछ सिखाओ आप. तो शुक्राचार्य took him when प्रहलाद was 8-year-old that time. उसको ट्रेनिंग दिया, जो भी सिखाया उन्होंने. उसके बाद हिरण्यकश्यप को लगा कि इसको ट्रेनिंग दे दी 1-2 साल की, कुछ अच्छा, नाउ आई थिंक ही शुड बी फाइन. तो हिरण्यकश्यप ने प्रहलाद को पूछा, तूने क्या सीखा, क्या विद्या प्राप्त करी गुरु से. अब ऑब्वियसली शुक्राचार्य वाज टीचर ऑफ डीमंस, तो उनको कुछ वैसे ही सिखाना होगा. स्वार्थ है, लोगों से छीनना है, ऑल दोस काइंड ऑफ थिंग. तब प्रहलाद ने बोला था कि यद बंधाए यद कर्म तद बंधाए और सा विद्या या विमुक्त है. दिस इज कम फ्रॉम प्रहलाद माउथ. कि विद्या वो है जो मुक्त करे. आप जिस विद्या को मुझे भेज रहे थे वो तो मुक्त करती नहीं है, ये विद्या है. तब हिरण्यकश्यप ने बोला था, अब इसको तो मारना ही पड़ेगा. लाइक दैट स्टोरी गोज लाइक. सो दैट व्हाट भगवान इज सेइंग हियर कि दिस ऑल दीज आसुरी संपत्ति ये जो आ रही है, ये अविवेक, अविद्या से आती है. अविद्या क्या है? देयर इज नो भगवान. देयर आर पीपल हियर लाइक हिरण्यकश्यप सेड देयर इज नो भगवान, आई एम भगवान, आई एम द गॉड. सो दैट्स व्हाट भगवान से कि ये जो लोग हैं ये कहते हैं कि ये जो जगत है अनीश्वर है. देयर इज अ अनीश्वर, बट नाउ देयर इज सम कंफ्यूजन हियर. ये श्लोक की कमेंट्री में भी देयर आर पीपल, देयर आर कॉन्ट्री. They say that a lot of people say in Bharat, which is a wrong statement. Actually, I make it publicly. People say Buddha and Mahavir were Nastik. No, they were not Nastik. That's a very wrong definition of Nastik, in the sense who doesn't believe in any power which is beyond human. But Buddha, Mahavir, they both said that there is a niyam, there is a cosmic order. The whole world is interdependent. There is a cause and effect. They didn't say per se like भगवान जो वेद में उस समय था कि अग्नि इज भगवान और ये तो विष्णु और ये शिव जी तो बाद में, रुद्र इज भगवान. सो दे से देयर इज नो पर्सनल भगवान, बट देयर इज अ इम्पर्सनल पावर. सो नास्तिक मीन्स हु सेज देयर इज नो भगवान. सो दे नेवर सेड दैट. सो दैट स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग दैट बुद्ध और महावीर का नास्तिक ट्रेडिशन था. इट वाज नॉट अ नास्तिक ट्रेडिशन, इट वाज सेम परंपरा जो भारत की थी. Only thing they said there is no personal भगवान. हिंदुओं में we had वेद के टाइम पे तो नहीं थे, बाद में आ गए कि शिव जी बन गए, दुर्गा जी बन गई. there are reason for that. Because there is such a huge population. अगर लोग कई बार इस पे आर्ग्यू करते हैं, मैं बोलता हूँ आर्ग्यू आपको इसलिए नहीं करना चाहिए कि even that time, India's population was much bigger than the rest of the world population. That time, same ratio as abhi bhi hai. So to convince so many people, which not everybody was educated, not somebody people are doing farming, some are not. So they came up with the stories, which are Puran. And then stories, you have to bring name and form. So chalo Shiv ji hai, Vishnu ji hai. There are reasons for that. Fir avatar hai. But it doesn't mean that at the top level there is a difference. There's no difference. It is the same. There is some divine power. So, but Anishwar means like Hiranyakashipu. Main hi Bhagwan. There is no other Bhagwan. That is Asuri. So that a lot of people say that Nastik is not. Nastik is Asuri, na asti, which says that there is no divine existence. That is Nasti. But all Buddha, Mahavir, yeah, Charvak was there. There was a rishi called Charvak. Bharat ka ek darshan hai. He was like that. He said ki koi kuch nahi hai. Bas ye, there's only one birth, and that's what he says. The aparpar sambhutam, kam hetukam. The whole world is created out of the desire of men, women, or human. Bas desire se world create ho gaya. Like if you look at Big Bang Theory, they say that the world is created on its own, but still there is something happened. It is not like some Big Bang Theory says that God is not created. It is cosmic order. So हमारे यहाँ भी like if ever वेद में जाएंगे or even read Buddha Mahavir, if you detail में, they say cosmic order is there. A lot of people say. So Big Bang also is saying that there is something happened with there is a Big Bang and the world is created. And in fact, they also agree there is someone who is creating, not per se Bhagwan. But these people are, so they say, no, there is no Bhagwan. It is just created out of human desire. And that's what Bhagwan said, those are Asuri, like Hiranyakashipu is there. But there are many people, even today's world. But at the same time, when we go forward, we'll explain that there are people who say, my way is the only right way. They fall in the same category. Bhagwan is saying that asatyam apratishtham. Pratishtham is dharma here. The word pratishtham is dharma. So dharma is not a particular way. Dharma is always right way. There has nothing to do with what tradition it is. It's not about Hindu or non-Hindu. Dharma is always right. Satya is dharma. I mean, Satya has nothing to do with geography or traditions. Satya is always Satya. Satya is not Christian, or Satya is not Hindu, or Satya is not African, or Satya is not Australian. Satya is always Satya. So Satya is dharma. So apratishtam. So Bhagavan says apratishtam is adharma. These people don't believe there is no dharma, they say. It's like a random order. And we see aaj ke time pe there are people, or my way is the right way. That is not dharma. And they become, Bhagavan says, next shlok mein aayega. So they say that this is all created because of our desire. We have created this, and there is no order. And those people are Asuri. And we see, aaj ke zamane mein there are people, there is no order. They say our way is the right way. No, dharma is for everyone. When we say sarve bhavantu sukhina, we say sarve bhavantu sukhina. Our rishis never said that Arya bhavantu sukhina or Hindu bhavantu sukhina. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. That is dharma. Sabka sukh dharma hai. And that's what Bhagwan is saying. But these people are apratishtam. इसलिए हमारे यहाँ तो हमारे मंदिर में सभी मंदिरों में लिखा रहता है धर्मो रक्षति रक्षितः धर्म एव हतोवन्ति. उसके पहले का है धर्म एव हतोवन्ति धर्मो रक्षति रक्षितः. The dharma which is not preserved is going to destroy the society. Means dharma which is not preserved is adharma. Adharma will destroy the society. Dharmo rakshati rakshita. Dharma will protect. So we have to practice or preserve dharma, because dharma is the protector. वो पूरा उसका description है धर्मो रक्षति रक्षितः, but that's what Bhagwan is saying. So it is not created out of desire. There is a cosmic order. There is a reason, this world. And sometime I go outside, and I'm sure everybody sees that. Every night, whenever possible, I do Saptarishi Darshan. That was taught by my grandfather, when I'm sure like everybody has been taught by grandfather, grandparents. हमारी grandmother नहीं थी, दोनों तो grandfather used to teach. So I still remember. So we used to sleep outside in the summertime, and he'll show that there is a Saptarishi. That's the constellation. We all see that, right? And there is a Usra Major, the last. This. So 7 are there, and the 7th one is very dot like, or 8th one, which is Arundhati, we said, right? So we all have seen that. And even if I go tonight, I mean, whenever I do not, the same thing. How after 60 years, same position, same 7, same constellation, everything is same. The moon is same, sun is same. Who's doing that? That is called भगवान, जिसको हम लोगों ने भगवान बोला, उसको किसी ने cosmic order बोला, किसी ने नियम बोला, whatever we call it, but it is there. Otherwise, how will survive? And that's what. But these people think, no, ये सब अपने आप हो रहा है, अपने आप नहीं हो रहा. There is a story we have read many times there, that there was a scientist and a spiritual friend. They used to have this discussion always. So scientists used to say, no, I mean, no, there's no God. I mean, so he said, no, I mean, whatever name. So we have seen the story. He said, he bought some color, like, and they were sleeping in the same room. And the night time, this guy, the spiritual person over there, he got up and made a picture, nice drawing, and then slept. And they kept in the room somewhere. The morning they got up, and the scientists said, oh, wow, what a nice picture. What a wonderful creation. It's a beautiful picture, some plant, real picture. He said, who did it? The other friend said, I don't know. It just, the colors were there. We were sleeping. I think the colors, they came out. He said, no, colors cannot do that. Somebody has done it. Then the friend was said, that's what I have been telling you. Somebody has done that. So he said, I made it. So now scientists also believe that, yeah, कुछ तो पीछे कोई तो करता है, हमने उसको भगवान नाम दे दिया, किसी ने नहीं दिया. But that's what he said, these people don't trust. Those are Asuri people. So the message here is that whether we believe in one form or other doesn't matter, but we need to, जैसे अर्जुन ने बोला, पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म समूढ़ यत् श्रेयस्यात् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तमे शिष्यस्ते हम शादिमां त्वां प्रपन्न. I surrender to you. So it is all about the surrender. It is not about giving up. It is about Shraddha. Here is when he says Prapannam. जब हम Prapannam, Pranam has the same like meaning. जब we do Pranam to someone, we are not surrendering. It's a Shraddha. That's the reason we do Pranam to Acharyas or Guru, because there is a Shraddha there. Bhagwan को प्रणाम. So that Bhagwan is saying कि ये जो आसुरी को श्रद्धा नहीं होती है. That's why इतना arrogance होता है कि he or she will say that no, I am the best. It's like that. So this the key here is, there is Bhagwan का purpose ये नहीं कि भगवान है. भगवान का मतलब है कि someone higher than me, which I surrender to. हिंदू लोग तो एकदम उन्होंने, I mean, they have taken a leap in that कि ये पीपल के पेड़ में भी भगवान है, गंगा में भी भगवान है. They have crossed all the limits, which is good. I mean, you are seeing Bhagwan in the tree, kya baat hai, right? You are seeing Bhagwan in the patthar, kya baat? I mean, people may make fun of it, but so what? I see that there is a shivling. Abhi mandir mein Shivratri ko, everybody is like making a queue to just put those few drops on that shivling. It's a piece of, like, if you look at that, it's a piece of a stone. But there is a Shraddha. No, I have to put few drops on Shivji, right? You feel so good when you just do little Abhishek. It is a piece of stone, but I know it is Shivji for me. That is my Shraddha. And that elevates you. That's what Bhagwan is saying. But Asuri Pratibala, no, I don't trust in that. So that's what Bhagwan is saying. So we'll read one more shlok. I think it's 841. We'll chant one Nirvan Shatkam. But yeah. So one more shlok. I think 9th. एताम दृष्टिम अवष्टभ्य
एताम दृष्टिम वष्टभ्य
नष्टात्मानो अल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः
प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः
क्षयाय जगतो हिता।
क्षयाय जगतो हिता। इस प्रकार इस मिथ्या ज्ञान को अवलंबन करके नष्ट हो गया है स्वभाव जिनका, तथा मंद है बुद्धि जिनकी, ऐसे वे सबका अपकार करने वाले क्रूर कर्मी मनुष्य केवल जगत का नाश करने के लिए ही उत्पन्न होते हैं।
Holding this view, the ruined souls of small intellect, of fierce deeds, come forth as enemies for the destruction of the world.
Yeah, so this continuation from the previous. So ऐसा मिथ्या ज्ञान, एताम दृष्टिम अवपष्टम, means they're holding what four things, that there is no Bhagwan. So these kind of people, it says the first thing उनके अंदर नष्ट आत्मानः. Atmana means, we know Atma means the pure, right? Or we can say Sabha. So these people, or emotion in simple terms. So these people have no emotions. If we translate in very simple term, Nashta Atmana means no emotions. And we see that Asuri Pravatti people have no emotion, right? And then we're going to say Alpa Buddhaya. Alpa means the short-sighted. We can say short-sightedness. Short-sightedness is, these people are focusing only in the material world. Only in the material world. Duryodhan is, Duryodhan to chhod dijiye. Abhi aaj Ukraine, this land is mine. Palestine, this land is mine. This land is mine. All people are eyeing on something which is material. And there are wars. Same thing happened in old time. Mahabharata, Duryodhan says, I cannot give you this, even 5 villages. There is a war. So these people, Alpa Buddha mein, they are looking at only at the material things. That's called narrow-sightedness. इसके लिए तो हमारे यहाँ जो श्लोक है वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, उसके आगे का है अयम निजो परोवेति गणना लघु चेतसाम उदार चरिता नाम तु वसुधैव कुटुंबकम. अयम निज, दिस इज माइन, परोवेति, दैट इज योर्स, गणना लघु चेतसाम, दिस काइंड ऑफ transaction, this type of calculation, laghu chetasam, alpa buddhi. The narrow-minded people do this kind of calculation, that this is yours, this is mine, this is yours. Udar charitanam, the people who are broad-minded, vasudhaiva kutumbakam, उनके लिए तो पूरी वसुधा कुटुंब है. क्या तेरा क्या मेरा है, सबे भूमि गोपाल की, यहाँ में अटक कहाँ, जाके मन में अटक है सोई अटक रहा. सूरदास जी का दोहा है कि सबे भूमि गोपाल की, ये सब गोपाल की भूमि है, इसमें क्या तेरा क्या मेरा. So that's what he say, alpa buddhi, narrow-minded. Then he say ahita. सबका ahit means, hit is upkar, the like we can say that the compassion, and ahit means who is not non-compassionate, the cruel injustice or cruel-minded people. They're ahita. And then last is ugra karmani. 4 things they said. Ugra karmani means, ugra means, we can say terrorist को इसलिए हमारे यहाँ उग्रवादी बोलते हैं. इंडिया में टर्म यूज होती है. उग्र means that actually the cruel, the terrorist. So they, and this term is used thousands of years ago. Some भी terrorist थे, वो दुर्योधन terrorist टाइप काम करता था. क्रूर उग्र कर्माणी. So these 4 things they have. Nashta, like it's always focused on themselves, narrow-minded. Ahita means they are non-compassionate, cruelty towards others. And the terrorism, like cruel, ugra karmani means इनके जो actions are very cruel. They are like oppressors or whatever, terrorists do that. And Bhagwan says, jagat kshaya prabhadanti. इसलिए ये लोग, they destroyed the world. This is a definition of what we see these days also. Some people, they are bound to destroy this society or world just because of all these 4 things. And if you summarize that, actually narrow-minded, narrow vision. Just this is my material vision. And as Bhagavan said, those are Asuri. I mean, we can go on and on these things, there are so many things, but we'll just maybe stop in a minute. So Ravan, we bring Ravan, but it is a good example because everybody knows Ravan. So Ravan's grandfather was Pulastha Rishi. Ravan's father was Vishrava Rishi. Look at Rishi Param. Pulastha Rishi was Vishrava Rishi was very known. And Ravan was son of, but Ravan's Nana was, so very good example. Those are Devi Sampada people, Pulas Rishi Vishrava. But Ravan's Nana Sumali was coming from Asur families. So he had a plan that he wanted and his daughter to marry Vishrava Rishi so that the Santan will be coming from Vishrava Rishi, and Kakasi was Ravan's mother. She was coming from Asur family. Sumali was Asur. Asur means there was a people who want to do all these things. And he said the Santan will be very knowledgeable because coming from the Rishi Parampara, and Kakasi is Asur. So there'll be a combination. So Ravan was a combination of these two. So Ravan ko jo Vishrava Rishi gave him education when Ravan 10, 12-year-old, he got all the education, he memorized everything. And then his Nana realized that, oh, this is going in other direction. So he took him and gave the training. And it is said that in one of this literature, Ravan ko unhone pucha ki tu kya kar raha hai? You have to rule this kingdom. So you have to, but you cannot rule the kingdom the way you are learning things. You have become so kind and you have memorized all good things. So Ravan ne pucha tha ki, what about the sadachar? The word he has used, achar. So he said that no, sadachar, rulers cannot be sadachari. If you have to snatch things from others, you cannot be sadachari. So then he trained Ravan in different directions, and then Ravan become Ravan because the training of his Nana, what he wanted. And then Ravan took Lanka from his co-brother Kuber. All the story we know that way. But look at this. It is coming from a Rishi, but just because the Asur took over. So Ravan was Vidwan, Ravan was very knowledgeable, Ravan was very smart, very intelligent, but Asuri Sampada. So then we know the whole history. Same thing with Duryodhana. Gandhari, when she came, and Gandhari said, "Oh, my husband is blind, so I'll put the whatever strap around my eyes, and I want to be blind too." Now just imagine how Swamiji bolte the, Dayanand, come on, when you have two blind parents at home, you will have Duryodhan, 1,000 Duryodhans at home, right? Not one Duryodhan. The parents have to open the eyes. Why did Gandhari did that, right? Now you have created a Duryodhan at home because you can't even teach your kids right thing because you are blind. So that's what happens. If we are blind, we are going to create more Asur. So the not blindness with wisdom. So Vivek has to be there to remove Asuri Sampada. That's the message here. Yeah, so what we'll do, because we have talked a lot about Asuri Sampada, so I'll share the screen. You can, if you can repeat after me, you can repeat. So I'll share my screen and let me know when you see, right? You see that?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll check.
Yes.
You can repeat after we read this, but this is what exactly opposite of the Asushu. Asushu means the who focus on Indri. This is by Adi Guru Shankaracharya. I think font is enough. You can read, right, Pankaj Bhai? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is what Shankaracharya is saying. I am not this senses. I am beyond that, right? So let's chant that, because a lot of Asuri we talked about. So this is like Mano Buddhyahankar Chitta Ninaham न चक्षोत्र जिह्वे न च घ्राण नेत्रे
न च श्रोत्र चित्ते न च घ्राण नेत्रे
न च व्योम भूमिर्न तेजो न वायु
न च व्योम भूमिर्न तेजो न वायु
चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम
चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम.
So Adi Guru Shankaracharya ji कह रहे हैं कि I am not these senses, I am not man, I am not buddhi, I am not ahankar, I am not these five senses like the nose, tongue, nachavyo mubhu. I am not the space, I am not this limitation of material world. Chidananda Rupo Shivoham. I am that Chidananda Rup, which is Satchidananda Rup. Basically, Sach is hidden there. And that is my Swarup. And that is actually, that's our Swarup. And if we realize that, we have Devi Sampada. You don't have to acquire from somewhere. It is by default there. The problem is our default is missing. So Asuri Sampada, like, you know, हम लोग phone लेके आते हैं, and there is a default setting, and then you download this app, that app, or phone stop working. They say, then you go to the store, Apple, they say we have to bring it to the default setting. All these apps you have downloaded is spoil your phone. All these Asuri Sampada spoil our consciousness. So we have go back to the default setting. And our default setting is Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am the Chidananda. Satchidananda, actually we have to supply that. Satchidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Shiv means Sach. Not Shiv Bhagwan here. He's not saying Shiv Bhagwan. Shiv means that Satya. So that Satchidananda is my Swarup. And that is actually, so that I think we'll read that. And now we'll just do our, sit in our Dhyan. Again, the purpose of Dhyan, now as we go deeper into Bhagavad Gita, we get more and more importance of Dhyan. Not Dhyan karna, Dhyan doing. To be in Dhyan. There is nothing doing in this. It is being. This what we do is a process, not Dhyan. It's a process. We have to call it Dhyan. But the process of being in Dhyan or being Dhyan, not in. So the purpose, again, now we know, like, there is an onslaught of Asuri things. We cannot stop it. We are in this world. It is going to be like this. And we cannot change things. And then all over the Asuri tendencies are there. And it is nobody's fault. It is the world it is. Let's not even blame things. Ye Asuri, Asuri. There's no point blaming also anyone. It is like it is. What can I do? Like Raman Maharshi is teaching. उनके पास कोई जाता था, बोलते थे, just what should I do? He said, just find out who you are. Who am I? His famous teaching was, just find out who am I. Yourself. Once you know who am I, Satchidananda Rupa Shivoham, you're done. That's it you need to know. Because you are that. And that's what the whole purpose of Dhyan, to stop those senses which are transacting with outside. There is a need of time. We need to transact. But Vivek has to be there. How much? When to stop? That is Vivek. And then this whole journey is deconditioning what we are conditioned to do right from the childhood. We are conditioned to do and interact with the world and a lot of things. I mean, it's not nobody's fault, but it is the way it is. But we forget in that process that I am not a material being, I am a spiritual being. But because of the transaction with the outside world, so that's whole Dhyan is like stopping our transaction with the outside world and slowly realizing that what is my true nature is Sakshi Chaitanya. That's what. So let's do that. Oh. Keep the focus on the tip of the nostril and bring image of Prithvi Tattva, which is the Bhagwan's grossest form. Through nostril, through Nasika, which is one of the Jnanendriya or sense perception, we interact with the outside world as Prithvi is outside. Actually, the Gandh is representation of Prithvi. The smell is nothing but outside world. So through nostril, we feel the smell. Now she focused to the tip of the tongue and feel or bring image of Jal Tattva. It could be fountain or river, because through tongue we interact with second element, which is Jal. Now she focused to the eyes and bring image of Agni Tattva, which could be Surya Bhagwan is the best representation. So bring image of Surya Bhagwan in mind and keep focus on eyes, which is the third sense organ and third element. She focused to the skin and feel the Vayu Tattva, which is wind or air, we call it, right? Which is Pavan Devata. We cannot see, we cannot touch, but we can feel on skin. Skin is the fourth sense organ, and the wind is or air is the fourth element. Shift focus to the ear and feel. We cannot feel sound, space basically. Space is the first element, but sound travels in space. So if you can hear my voice, that means my voice is traveling through space to your ear. So ear is the one which tells there is a space around because sound is traveling. So space is inside me, outside. All these elements are outside also and inside me. Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash. By doing this, all these senses quietens. Once the senses are quiet, the mind becomes quiet too, because mind is not getting feed. And this is a practice, I do every day, we can do. Now at this time, mind is quiet. Now I am not these senses, I am not the mind. When I say mind means mind, man, buddhi, chit, all three go together. And ahankar. So they're all one current. So I'm not this mind, means all not buddhi, chit. I am that Sakshi Chaitanya behind that. And at this time, try to observe the mind. By doing this practice, slowly, the mind, the thoughts in the mind, there are times there'll be a pause, there is no thought. And we have to get that gap, there's no thought. And observe that gap. And the one who is observing the gap is that Sakshi Chaitanya. That is our true nature. That is Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham Shivo. Some thoughts may come and go, but again, with practice, the gap increases. And Bhagavan says to Arjuna in 6th chapter, in this state, Yukta Asit Matpara. Surrender to me or surrender to yourself. Tattvamasi. There's no separate Bhagavan and me in that state. That's Sakshi Chaitanya. And Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivo. That state, the only thought remains that I am Chidananda Shivoham Shivo. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamidachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. So yeah, and that this whole exercise helps in raising that sattva guna, and sattva guna means